Benzino, thank you for pulling up, man.
Man, dog.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Congratulations on the new family that you're growing, man.
Oh, man, it's all love. It's all love, man. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, your daughter, Coi Leray, she announced that she's having a rival of your first grandchild.
My first grandchild, ain't that something?
How do you feel about this? Are you excited?
Oh, man, I'm excited, of course. Yeah, of course, man. Like, you know, it took this long for me to be a granddad. And, you know, my son also, Chavo, he's 3 years older than Coi. He's having, you know, his girl's happen. So, and they're pregnant around the same time. So I'm gonna have two, like within a month of each other. So,
It's a blessing.
that's a blessing, man. It's exciting.
Are you nervous?
A little bit.
A little bit. Like, what are you nervous about?
Just a little anxious. Just, you know, of course you want, these 9 months and everything for both of them, I'm sure it's gonna be nervous and stressful. So because they're nervous and stressful, I automatically feel that feeling too.
Okay, I understand that. Now, in the past, right, it's been shared publicly, of course, right, that, you know, the misunderstandings that you've had, in communication with Coi Leray. But has your relationship advanced?
Well, you know, the relationship between me and my daughter shouldn't have been on the internet in the first place.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned, you know, but I understand the social media is here.
That's a fact.
Both of us are in the light. You know what I'm saying? People know who we are, and I've been around for a long time. And her generation is the generation of social media. Well, sort of say, but as far as technology, you know, and the internet, you know what I'm saying? So with her being the big star that she is, which I'm still trying to, you know, that's still, believe it or not, after 5 years of her doing this, it's still surreal to me. Everything, how everything's going. And, you know, it's unfortunate that people have seen what transpired between us over the internet. I surely didn't see it coming. I surely didn't want it to happen. And, you know, as far as our relationship, I don't, the personal side, I don't really want to divulge anymore as much, you know, because I don't want her to feel any certain way.
I respect that.
You know, and back and forth, because most of our situations is she do an interview, something will be asked or said, I'll do an interview, and it's just, you know, it gets
nasty.
It's awkward, man. It's just, you know what I mean? And that's not even how it's supposed to be, but I understand what it is. And I will say one thing. I've learned to deal with it a lot better.
Okay.
You know, I've learned to come to terms with myself that social media is social media and outside is outside.
Mm-hmm.
And these are two different worlds, you know.
That's
a lot of my life, I came up outside. So, you know, my principles, morals, values are different than internet morals and values and stuff. So
okay. Where was she born? She was born in...
She was born in Boston.
Okay.
And then we moved to Jersey, which, you know, because I had the source in New York. So we had, you know, I bought a house in Jersey, and then when I was with her mother, and then we moved to Jersey. But she pretty much grew up in Jersey and Jersey high schools.
So basically you're just allowing the relationship to repair organically.
Well, that's my daughter, you know. Yeah. What people would understand is a couple of things that I've learned from being a father, all right, from experience. You know, first of all, I had 3 different child mothers, okay. And before Zeno came, which he's 9 years old, it was Ray Ray, and then Coi and Taj. So, you know, just trying to navigate fatherhood, to have them all know each other, Coi, Taj, and Ray Ray, to be with each other. Well, every summer and every holidays, they all come stay with me wherever I'm at. You know what I'm saying? And like about 4 or 5 months out the year almost, you know what I'm saying? They'd always be with me. So people didn't see our relationship, and they really don't know. And Coi, I think, maybe she didn't know or didn't understand the power of what was going to happen. But once, you know, she started kind of saying stuff was rocky between us on the internet, it just blew shit out of proportion, because it really, really wasn't like that.
I get what you're saying.
I don't want to keep getting back and forth with that, but I'm just saying in a good way, like, You know, we had the same issues that any father and daughter would. You know, school, you know what I'm saying? Hey, Dad, I want something. I need something. Hey, Dad. I mean, it was a great relationship, and it still is. It's just, you know, sometimes you have to allow your kids to grow on their own, to kind of see things on their own.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to force the views you have on them. And I had to learn that. You know, you don't come with no manual being a father. And then fathers are in stages. When Coi was a baby, I was a hero. Growing up till 9 years old. But once they hit that 14, 15, it's not like they don't want to still love you, but they want to go out there to the world with their people. They don't want to be around mama and dad. So you have to transition now to a different type of father.
You teaching me something, right?
Yeah, it's true. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm learning as I've gone, but I am studying it because I want to be better. You know, and you know, I love her dearly. I love all my kids. I have 3 boys and I have a daughter, and I love them dearly. And like I said, the internet, the storyline, me and Coi, it represents a lot of women out there, a lot of young girls who really fathers wasn't around. And they have traumas from that, and they have mental lapses from that, and angers from that, you know, and depressions from that. So now if Coi is on the internet and it seems like, okay, they're thinking that she's going through the same things they're going through. And that wasn't the case, because Zeno was there. I was there. You know, I was there, and I was proud to be there. I'm not saying I was Bill Cosby, because you can't be growing up a nigga selling drugs in the hood and even in the rap industry as a young black man, because the system, you know, the system is always throwing traps out there for you regardless. So just me dealing with being black, growing up in America, in the hood, hustling, and now in hip hop, it's not gonna be the Cliff Huxtable type of fatherhood. It's gonna be a different type. The love is still going to be just as much, but I have to do it differently. And I think when they grow up, because they're apart from their dad, in my situation, she's probably looking from afar, seeing me on TV with women. Every time she did come to visit me, there was another woman. So I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, that's the lifestyle, and you have to adapt and adjust and just try to let time heal everything. And that's what I'm doing now.
Now, how do you see yourself as a granddad?
I'm dope. I'm gonna be dope.
You aiming to be hands-on?
I'm gonna be dope. Yeah, man. I'm gonna be, like, especially if they're boys, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, girls, you know, you have to treat them different. You got to be a lot more delicate and a lot more in different ways. But you know, if you know, boys, man, it's gonna, because you know, just like my father, Coi loves the hell out of him now.
Really? Okay.
The whole time of us going through, you know, she's been with Grandpa Tito. They done been around the world. She done took him on trips everywhere. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's
she
fire.
loves my dad dearly. You know, like they stay in touch. But I see that happening all over the place when it comes to our community.
So you have like any parental tips maybe that you want to give them or something like that, maybe?
Well, I mean, for sure. When you say parental tips, listen, a mother just has that natural ability to be a mother. So Coi's going to get that natural ability to be a mother. But all the beautiful things that come with having a child, there are stresses, and there are, you know, there's going to be times where, you know, where your patience and your stress levels is, but she has a big support system. Her mother definitely, you know what I'm saying, you know, mom's always, I remember her brother Kwame, you know, moms took care of the grandkids all the time. That's what we do as a people. You know, as black people, you know, it always happens like that. Like, we can't stress enough, where would the black family be without the grandparent? It's all like a process of, you know what I'm saying, from, okay, so if your daughter's mad at you, but grandma,
You got to be able to go to grandma's crib, get something to eat.
Yeah.
Grandpa, I know what you mean.
It has to be a safe space somewhere.
That's what I grew up on. Like, if it wasn't for my grandparents, I don't know if I would even be doing all of this.
See,
They
now,
are a
same
very
thing with me.
important role in my life.
I got shipped to New York to my grandmother in Coney Island. Puerto Rican, and my grandfather in the Bronx.
Yeah, I'm from Queens, South Side. So, you know, I had the life living over there with my grandparents. It was beautiful. But personally, how do you feel about Trippie Redd, your
See,
son-in-law?
I don't know him.
Yeah.
You know, the first time he was dating her, I never, you know, I anybody that was just messing with my daughter, I don't want to meet.
Yeah. So the opportunity never presented itself for you guys to, okay.
But now that he's having a baby, then all that's changed now because he's going to be, you know, a part of her life in a major way, sharing a child, and that kind of brings everybody together one way or the other. So I would love to meet him, man. You know, just let him know it's all love. You know what I mean? Yeah, hell yeah.
Now, if Coi was watching this right now, right, what words of wisdom would you extend to her, you know, in this stage of her life, embracing this blessing and, you know, the parental responsibilities, you know, like what would you say to her, you know, telling her how to balance her career, like?
Well, like like I said, when it comes to a mother, she's just really gonna, her natural abilities are gonna kick in. But when it comes to the career, just don't rush it. You know what I'm saying? Make sure physically you're all right, you know, to come back. And because, you know, Coi dances, you know, she goes hard on stage.
Yeah, I know.
So she just doesn't, you know.
Now, she's an ill artist.
Yeah. She's very talented, very driven, very driven. You know, she had a high motor. You know what I'm saying? She got a high motor. She don't stop. And so I would just say, just make sure, you know, you're physically and mentally ready to come back because, you know, I know when she comes back, she's going to go hard because of the time that she's been off. So I know in her mind, she's already thinking like, once she has the baby, it's time to, you know, boop, you know, get back in it. And, you know, so it just, just because, you know, a woman's health has to be the #1 priority.
That's good.
You know, so, but, you know, I'm excited for her, man. I again, when you're in the seat that I'm in watching it, how I'm watching it, you know, I didn't watch it like that before. I didn't grow up like that. Everything was personal. But this is a different time, and I understand it. It's just different watching it like this, watching it where everybody else is watching it, you know, and that's my child. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Now, today, right, not much is known about your musical beginnings. This generation is familiar with you as Benzino, the producer, the TV talent, the co-owner of The Source. However, in the 80s, you were pivotal in the Boston hip-hop scene. Right. Tell me about the almighty RSO and the controversial record release, One in the Chamber. How did this impact your affiliation with Queen Latifah's Flavor Unit and the record deal with Tommy Boy?
Okay, so around 89, maybe 90, we had signed the deal with Tommy Boy Records. They were independent label. That's the same label that had signed Naughty by Nature. And you know, we was a gangster rap group. You know, we was, you know, Boston at that time had a large gang community. You know, was ganged out. And it was kind of crazy. It was a crazy time in Boston in the 80s, the late 80s. A lot of murders, a lot of violence, like probably a lot of other cities, but people didn't expect Boston to be like that. But you know, it really was. And the group, you know, hip hop had started to get popular in Boston. So everybody had their groups. Ours was the RSO, Rock Shit On. Rock Shit On. That was the original, but then it changed to, I think, Real Solid Organization. And then when the police came, it was Roxbury Street. It was too much shit. So, but Rock Shit On, man. We was, you know, because I come back. You gotta understand, in the Bronx, I learned how to scratch in the Bronx when I was 11 years old. That was like in 1976, you know. You know, people don't realize, like, when people do the history of hip hop, they say 50 years old, so that means it was birthed in 73. And it really wasn't no rapping out in 73. It was just DJs kind of like cutting the disco beats because disco was still kind of heavy, especially in New York. So it was really about DJs cutting the disco beats. And then at the same time, the Bronx was just a lot of people from the Caribbean were just moving to the Bronx because it was low income housing. The Bronx was a fucked up place to live, but That's where Black and Latino people all came. And that's what birthed hip hop.
Okay.
Okay. And shit, now that I look at it, my grandfather stayed on Cedar Avenue in the Bronx and Fordham Road. Like I said, I would get shipped up there with me and it's just how like Coi and Ray Ray, but me and my brother and sisters would get all shipped to, like my steps would be shipped to my grandfather, and that's how I got a relationship with them. So it's all the same, but I just loved hip hop. So, when I was back in Boston, I was DJing a lot of clubs, man, but I was heavy in the streets, like around 13, selling a lot of drugs and shit. My father was heavy in the streets, so I got in the streets heavy, but it was block parties, Serwin Vega speakers with Technique turntables. I mean, I'm really from that cloth of hip hop from the beginning. Now, we used to come to New York to get our tapes, Crash Crew, Spoonie G. I mean, these are the godfathers. Count Cool Out, Super Rhymes, like Funky 4+1, man, Busy B. I mean, Starsky, Love Bob. I can go on and on.
Yeah, no.
I can go on and on.
Those are legends.
This is so I got to be able to really be a part of hip hop from really its beginning, because I started as a DJ. My name was DJ Rock, Shock, and Ray Dog, because they used to call me Dog. I wasn't Benzino till later, but my name in the streets was Ray Dog, because my name's Raymond.
Right, yeah.
So, they'll call me Dog. When I go back to Boston, not too many people call me Benzino or Zeno. They call me Dog or Diggs, Diggo. So, I was a DJ. Man, I met 2 times. It was from Castlegate, I was from Four Corners. And God rest the dead, Derek Corcho introduced William Goldforth. They was like the OGs of the hoods. They both dead. Introduced us. We battled. And then we formed together the Almighty RSO. And then Master Kevsky, rest in peace, Orange Man. He did Double Life. Tony Rome, Disco P. He was a beatbox, and we was a real group. And we battled motherfuckers and shit. And then we got our first record deal with Tommy Boy, opening up for Naughty by Nature. And we got our first deal. We put a song out called One in the Chamber. At that time, police were killing people in Boston on a regular. Like, there wasn't no law. Like, Boston was #1 in car thefts before Jersey, right? Massachusetts back then. So it wasn't no law. Like, they could chase you and shoot at you and kill you. If you stole a car and went on a chase back then, they'd chase you and they'd be shooting at you and kill you. Like, they've killed a bunch of guys.
Damn.
So they killed this kid, Nathaniel Lackland, shot him twice in the back of the head in Jamaica Plain Projects, and they got off. They killed Christopher Rogers. He was a 17-year-old kid under a car that he was hiding from, and they shot up under the car, killed him. We made a song called One in the Chamber, which we was like, yo. See, because there wasn't no CNN and no marches and nobody, oh my God, like, it was just regular shit. Like, nobody even knew, nobody gave a fuck. They was knocking niggas off on a regular, shooting at us on a regular. Boston's like a Irish predominantly, so the police force was all Irish. And they was racist as a motherfucker, the ones in Boston. And they was all trying to it was crazy. So, we formed a group, and the song out, and Tommy Boy signed us the song. We was about to do a video. We sampled Mysterious Vibes from the Blackbirds, me 2 times, and JB, rest in peace to JB, the Hangman 3, who was a production company. I learned production from somebody that lived in Jamaica, by the great Paul C. 1987, he produced songs for Ultramagnetic. He was a white guy, right? Young white guy. At the time, the SP1200 had just came out. It was a drum machine. It was that sample, 2.5 seconds on each pad. This had never been done before. This was way before the MPC with all the unlimited sample time. The SP1200 had 2.5 seconds. Paul C produced Ultramagnetic. He was doing stuff for Eric B, for KRS. Like, this, he was dope. So I ended up renting studio time at Studio 1212 in Jamaica.
Okay.
Right? So I just remember we all came up here. We stayed at the Kennedy Inn.
Okay.
This is the Kennedy Inn and shit. We came with a bunch of guns because we ain't, so we was deep. We had a van and everything. So at this time, Jack the Rapper was at the the Marriott in Times Square. So we was working with Paul C, and we got to do a track with Said G, Ultramagnetic. Like, it was dope. Everything was going good. We was up in Queens for like 2 weeks. Went to the Coliseum. We got spray paint jerseys with the Just Ice hats.
Ain't even the same no more, but it
we're all good out. Like, we was, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So once me and Paul got close, he was teaching me how to really tap and truncate samples and shit, man. Like, he really showed me a lot. So he lived at a house. We went to his house one day. We was going to Jack the Rapper. I said, Paul, why don't you come with us? He said, nah, I'm gonna chill. I said, all right, cool. So I went down. It was his house. I guess his mother's house. His room was in the basement. I went down there, and I was like, oh, he had a record collection, disc collection, all kind of shit. But everybody knew Paul was that nigga. The next day, we went to the studio. He didn't show up. He had been murdered the very next day, right? So I'm like, oh man. So because he didn't show up to the studio, so we went to his crib. The whole crib's taped off. So I'm calling niggas, look, get the guns out, go back to Boston and shit. So like they snatched me up because I was the last one that was really with him. He had gave me a Rufus Thomas. Before we left to, Jack the Rapper, he gave me this Rufus Thomas album. And I said I was gonna sample from it. And I see him the next day. It was my birthday. And I got snatched up by the police. It was in the newspapers and everything. So we all
the police in Queens snatched you up?
Queens, yeah. We all got questioned. And they ended up letting me go because, but a lot of people don't know Paul McCaskey, man. He got shot 3 times, like the head, the neck. Like,
damn.
This is like a little white dude, man. Like, you know what I mean? Not gangster, not into none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? It just was fucking crazy, man.
Just pure hate.
To this day, man, I couldn't believe it. But he came up in Jamaica and he was dope. I mean, matter of fact, his protege was the Large Professor. And I met Large Professor. I met Large Professor at his wake. He was balling, man. He was fucked up. And yeah, man. So I never told that story. So big up to Paul C, man. I mean, Paul C is a Jamaica Queens legend and nobody knows. And it's crazy because he really, I'm telling you, he revolutionized. Like, producers would know what I'm talking about. Like, well, back in the day when you would sample a kick, it would just be, right? You would sample it tight. And I'm talking because the producers are gonna know what I'm talking about. This is before the fucking Fruity Loops. So, in the snare, so Paul showed me cut. So if you take it off of an album, cut the kick going all the way to the hi-hat. So it's, so you're not cutting just the kick. I'm leaving the hi-hat that's coming next. So now when he's hitting all of and he's like, cut the snare and keep all the air until it gets to the next sound. So now when he's tapping this shit, if you listen to Ultramagnetics, give the drummer some. It sounds like a motherfucker's just tapping, and it's just like, believe me, producers know if the producer watches this, anybody else not gonna know what the fuck I'm talking about, but it just, man, he just was before his time, man. It's fucked up.
So Paul C was a legend in Jamaica, Queens.
White boy. One of the dopest producers. He revolutionized sampling. And at that time, like I said, Eric B, Ultramagnetic, KRS, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, those type of beats were like, I mean, he wasn't nobody better than him. Super Lover C, he's fucking with him. He's fucking with a bunch of people.
Okay, so now Tommy Boy, they were affiliated with Queen Latifah?
Well, Tommy Boy, yes, because Latifah was signed to them and Tretch was signed to the Naughty by Nature.
Okay.
So when the police sued us for that song, we got sued, we got dropped from the label. Tommy Boy dropped us. So we ended up getting signed by Shakim and Latifah on Flavor Unit.
Okay.
For a quick little single deal or whatever. And yeah, but that was our first time. We had a deal on the table with Eazy-E. I met with Eazy-E twice right before he died. I talked to him a day in the hospital before he died. We was gonna have our first contract with him. We met twice in at St. Regis down in Manhattan, and we met him at the Source office. And man, we was gonna get our first album deal with him, and you know what I'm saying, he died.
How did the almighty RSO transition into Made Men?
Well, I mean, at that point, niggas was getting locked up and dudes was getting killed. So, a bunch of niggas, bunch, So it was pretty much like who was left.
Yeah.
And, we had added a member, Mr. Jesus, Cool G. He's from a different projects in Boston, but we always, like, I had a group called the Wise Guys I produced, and he was in the Wise Guys. So me, him, and E Devious, and 2 times, of course, the DJ, I always wanted to use that name, Made Men, so bad. At that point, RSO, I think, we had like a bad rep. Like the name was just getting too much controversy. So I said, well, let's try to
Change it up.
change it, even though it was the same,
Okay. So in the cusp of your of your musical career, you made a pivotal move in the 80s, and you created a media giant with David Mays.
Yeah.
Right.
Shout out to David.
Known as The Source. Right. So how did that come about? Can you tell me how that came about?
The RSO, we was at this radio station, college radio station, performing because there was a telethon where people donate money to the station, and every year they have all these different bands that come up there and go live.
Okay.
So we went up there because they'd be playing our music. So we did a little live session for him. Dave met us up there. He knew he heard we was gonna be up there. And he was like, yo, I want to meet you. You RSO, I'm Dave Mays. I want to interview you. I'm like, all right, cool. So we did a little small interview, and then he said he had a radio station up at Harvard that we should come up there. He had like an hour every Saturday. It was like a small antenna just for Cambridge and shit, like away from the hood. Cambridge, Harvard's like real white, liberal, totally different from Roxbury, Dorchester, black gangs, violence, drugs. Harvard has none of that, you know what I'm saying? Totally different. And it's 15 minutes from each other, 20 minutes from each other. So, went over there, fucked with Dave 2 times. My DJ started DJing for him every Saturday. And it was Dave's idea to come up with the newsletter. It was a newsletter, one piece of paper newsletter. It had KRS, a little picture of KRS, and it had a couple of lists, top 5 lists and different things. And Dave had an idea to like just put a newsletter together with different things that was going on in hip hop that he could send it to the labels and different stuff. Yeah, he came up with that idea. That was in 88. And I think it was February 88. And then Dave and his college buddies, he had 3 other college buddies that were all Ivy League, different Ivy League schools and shit. I really didn't fuck with them. I fucked with Dave, you know what I'm saying? And they pulled a little bit of money in and made it into a book for him. You know what I'm saying? But me and Dave's relationship the whole time is just growing because of the group. Dave actually, you know what I'm saying, invited the guy from the A&R guy from Tommy Boy too. Like all our deals, Dave had like somehow, some way, was instrumental in helping us get the deal with these guys because he knew the guys at the labels or whatever. So Source started kind of booming, and I got locked up.
But how did you become like the co-founder?
Well, I'm not the co-founder.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Dave Mays discovered the Source on one piece of paper.
Okay.
Let's make that clear. He discovered the Source on one piece of paper.
Okay.
All right. He brought in his other 3 guys, H. Edward Young, James Bernard, and John Schechter, okay? Which was his roommate at the time. John was white, the 2 other guys are black, but they're really like, they disconnected from streets as I'm disconnected from college, Ivy League college.
Gotcha.
So it didn't, me and Dave could be cool because that was really the only really white guy I was hanging around as far as, he wasn't doing that in Boston, you know what I'm saying? So it was kind of different. Dave was from DC, he's Jewish and he's from DC, but we got a real friendship over the years. When he didn't want to go back to DC for summer, I got locked up. I let him stay at my apartment in Boston for the summer. So he was boxing up like the little, boxing up the magazines, sending them out. Then he ended up moving to New York. The magazine started getting bigger. Like I really was still from 88 to like 94, I really was in Boston doing, heavy in the streets.
Okay.
Selling coke, heroin, weed. And Dave actually, our relationship just got real strong. We was his guys. He wasn't hanging with no one else. He wasn't hanging with Jay and them, the partners. He was hanging with me and then the guys, my friends from the hood that, you know what I'm saying? He just was always fucking with us. They didn't like that, Dave's other partners. They didn't like the relationship that Dave was having with me and my guys. And it was always kind of like little animosity there. So when we would go to New York, there'd always be little things, nothing crazy because they knew not to disrespect us, but it just was uncomfortable. It seemed like it was uncomfortable. So in 94, Dave put out an article about us. The staff got upset. The whole staff said, Dave, you wasn't supposed to do that. And we want you to step down from the magazine. They wrote this big letter. They all said that they wouldn't work no more unless Dave stepped down because he sacrificed the integrity of the magazine by putting a story. Now, mind you, this is I'm definitely Dave's best. We've been hanging together for 4 or 5 years, heavy.
Mm-hmm.
We're a rap group. We had been signed to Tommy Boy, Queen Latifah. Steve Stout gave us a deal on RCA. Yeah, I mean, we deserved the story at that point. Shit,
Yeah,
what the fuck? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, Dave ended up firing everybody, bought out the rest of the guys and came to me and was like, you want to be my partner? 50-50. Because I stood by him. You know what I'm saying? No matter, because at that point, I wasn't a magazine guy. I had a group, but I was a street guy. And I had a big ass crew in Boston, and I had some guys in New York. So, Dave, you know what I'm saying? Dave felt, he felt secure, you know what I'm saying? In this hip hop, because hip hop is still the streets. And Dave's still a white kid, kind of like a loner. So, you know what I mean? You can't, you know what I'm saying? In this world, you're going to get eaten up by the sharks if it's, you know what I'm saying, in a situation like that.
That's a bad thing.
But, that was my guy. And once I started taking on more things, more like duties with the source, learning about journalism and learning different about brands and stuff, I started doing more. And I started, like actually giving more. Meaning, at the Source Awards, like that was a major part of my idea. The Source All Access TV show and the Source show with Lisa Ray and Tresh that came on NB, that was my idea. Like anything outside the pages that had to do with like TV or the Source Hip Hop Hits. That we had the first compilation mega hits. We sold 5 million copies with Def Jam. That was my idea. Like all these, I started coming up with all these different ideas outside the pages of the magazine. And then, it just was like, now I felt like, damn, like I am a partner. It probably took from 94 to like 99, 98.
Really feel it.
For me to really, because before it's just like, look, okay, I'm your partner. I really was muscle more than anything else at the beginning.
Okay.
Not that was, we said, okay, you're going to be the muscle, but that just wasn't who I was anyways. So when Dave got the office in Manhattan, shit, I'm only 2.5 hours away. So if there's any problems, we coming up there like the Gotti boys. We right on 95, 2.5 hours.
That's fine.
Doing 100 the whole way. So
50-50 was well earned.
I mean, you know what? You know what I'm saying? Like Dave learned a lot from me.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot from him. Like, and that's priceless.
Yeah.
And what it did as far as taking me away from the streets, because there was only 2 ways I was going in Boston. There's only 2 ways you'll get out of the hoods in Boston.
Yeah.
You either go to jail or you get killed. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? The way I was going, it was a blessing. We ended up accomplishing a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
We made a lot of money, made some mistakes along the way as far as managing money and business. But, when you look back, you can't take away the contributions of what we done.
How did your media career with the Source impact your relationships in the industry with the music dudes?
Nah, because I was a street nigga and I was outside and I was at all the events and I was deep and I was actually in niggas' faces. Like niggas loved me. Niggas still love me. Like, you know what I mean? Like this is a game. Like I've been to every city 2, 3, 4, 5 times in my life. You know what I'm saying? I've always stayed outside. I was always the face. I've always wanted to talk to the, you know what I'm saying? And then let motherfuckers know, okay, Dave's administrative, I'm outside. And that's how our relationship and everything really.
That's the glue.
Yeah, man. And it was an unorthodox relationship. People didn't understand it. People thought I was extorting Dave. No, I got indicted by the feds because they thought I was extorting Dave and using a source because we was making so much money. They thought it was all drug money. They couldn't believe, like, it was the first time, like, these motherfuckers are fucking making millions and millions from the magazine. It never happened before, especially guys with Avirex coats and Timberlands. You know, the feds never seen that. So I got investigated, you know what I'm saying, for like 2 years. Our accountant wore wire for like 6 months. You know what I'm saying? He wore wire on me, trying to get me. So they ended up, I was looking at a RICO. Extortion, money laundering, 2 bodies in Boston. Like, this was all the shit that they said they had and that they wanted me to cop out, and I didn't cop out. I was like, we taking this. I knew they was bullshit. So they investigated. The money ran out on the criminal, but they indicted me on tax evasion. Because George Moore, this guy that Dave hired as an accountant, worked 5 years for us. We've given him $175,000 a year salary.
Back then, too. That's a lot of fucking money.
This motherfucker just one day says, I want to just fuck him over. Now, mind you, the whole time at the Source magazine, myself, I've never had an office. I'm just not an office guy. Like, I come in, Dave have a couch. I get on the couch, we start smoking weed, talk about all the shit. What needs to be talked about, usually I have to go on the other side, the journalistic side, to talk to all the staff because people would think I was like the bad guy, but Dave really was the guy that motherfuckers were like, damn, listen, Zeno, you think you could talk to Dave? And you know what I'm saying? It was really Dave, you know, so, you know, when I'd seen George, we'd only talk because he's from Jersey, a Jewish Italian guy from Jersey, and I'm from Boston. The only thing we talk about is the Jets and the Patriots. This, but he said that they approached him over the George Washington Bridge, 2 federal agents. They went in Dunkin' Donuts, they bought him some breakfast, and they told him to wear a wire, and he wore it. And my lawyer asked him why, because he thought it would be like an adventure. He thought it would be intrigued, like, what? Some stupid shit. He said, he came to court and testified and everything against me, took the stand and everything. Once they hit me, once I knew that the RICO was, I wasn't going to get all that time, I figured, like, well, fuck it. I got indicted by taxes. I'm going to jail. Now, I can only do 5. I'm like, I'm finally going to, everybody was getting time. I'm finally going to get mine, right?
Yeah.
But Coi had just been born. I said, fuck it. Let me take it to trial. At least buy me some more time out here with her and them. And then, because if I didn't take it to trial, if I did a deal with them, they was only giving me 3. 2 more wasn't gonna do nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I do 85% the feds, you get out in like 4 in a couple of months. So I said, fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, took it to trial, all white jury, and they found me not guilty. I could not fucking believe it.
Did you ever have to choose any stories, like, to run for the Source? Did you ever have to do that?
Yeah, like a lot of the late ones was I was instrumental on covers.
Okay.
Like covers, I started having a knack on covers, but towards the end. But I don't want to take credit because there was a lot of amazing people that worked at the Source, and they all deserve all their flowers and credit. Journalists, art directors, photographers. Rest in peace to the great Chimo Du. Shout out to Johnny Nunez, and shout out to everybody.
Yeah.
A lot of those guys went on to do movies and big things now, you know what I'm saying, that worked at the Source. Like, if you had Source on your resume, you can get yourself a job somewhere.
No, that's what's up. So you guys did a lot for a lot of people then.
Yeah, I know I've done a lot for a lot of people. Hell yeah.
Blessing. That's why you still here blessed, man.
Man, God is good, man.
Yeah.
God is good, man. I believe in God.
Now, me too. That's what we got your hand today, right? Thank God. Well, one of your most controversial elements of your career, as we know of, is your beef with Eminem. Now, back in 2002, Eminem released the Eminem Show album, and the Source gave it a rating of 4 mics out of 5. He felt this was unfair, but you responded with a diss track. Why did you choose to do a diss track to address him? Like, you know what I mean? You had dissatisfaction, and why not like invite him just for like a formal interview?
Well, the thing with M don't sit down with nobody. He just don't.
Okay.
He just don't. But the thing with that is, like, I got caught up being a part of a magazine, which I never knew I was going to be a part of. But my real first love is hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
And the Eminem situation just brought out both. Now, should it have happened? Should I have done it that way? Probably not. I probably shouldn't have mixed the business with my rap beef with him. It's a rap beef because that ain't no beef.
Yeah.
Niggas die with beef. That was rap. That was rap, battle rap. But you have to look at my position. I was the owner of the magazine.
Yeah.
And they were very powerful over there with him and Jimmy at that time with 50, and they had Mary, Dre. I mean, they was Interscope had about 50-60% of the market share with everything coming through there. So they was a big company. So I had to, you know what I'm saying? I'm not, it wouldn't have made sense for me to big him up in the source and he's beefing with me and I own the magazine. It just didn't make sense. And so I had to use, and see.
So the 4 out of 5, so the 4
we ended up giving him 2.5. It was worse than that. We ended up taking all of it out. I think we gave him 2.5. We put him on the cover with a black eye. You know what I'm saying? But you got to understand, like, and like I said, when I look at it in retrospect, you can second guess it. But if you're in a situation with somebody,
Mhm.
You're gonna use every bit of ammunition you have.
Yeah.
If you're in a war.
Well, I understand why the feud went on for many years, though.
But it really didn't. It just,
Okay.
he has obsessed, crazy ass fans, like weirdo, obsessed, nutty fans. And they're the only fans like that in hip hop, which to me makes them really not in hip hop. Like I never really consider Eminem's fans hip hop fans. They're like a cult following for Eminem. They really don't even follow hip hop. They really don't even care about hip hop or the blackness of hip hop, a lot of them.
Yeah, okay.
A lot of Eminem's fans just really don't even listen to hip hop. They just listen to him because he's white. And that's a fact. And it becomes a thing where they could hold pride because here hip hop is this $1 trillion company with predominantly black, and in their mind, but a white boy's better than all of them. So they hold that in pride, as a pride thing for their tribe.
We're gonna make them shine. We're gonna listen.
Well, no, we're just, they're gonna overreact. We're gonna, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna, since they don't feel like they have a seat at the table. So if he's their only seat at the table, they got to continue with them. They just go too far and overreact. It's not that serious. But I see how they hold him.
Yeah.
They hold him to deeper than just music. It's a cultural thing. It's a, superiority thing, like America's been. And they want to hold that superiority. So they even want to hold it in hip hop. But see, I was always been against that. My issues wasn't per se always Eminem as much as it is his fans. I know he could calm his fans down. Listen, when he walked out with Barack Obama and Kamala, that shocked me. And I had in my mind, I think I was sitting with my girl and I had to give him his props. I said, damn, that's all right. And not so much because he supported them, because I don't get into the politics of it. But the fact that the backlash he knew he was going to have from the white people, for a fact, I know that threw them in a frenzy, that threw a glitch in their computer software, because here they are really looking at him as the white power. And then he's out there with Obama. Oh, that fucked a lot of them up. They're still confused. And a lot of them didn't even come out and say anything because they was embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them were pissed off at that, so they don't know what to do. Damn, we got to love him because we know we have to keep loving him, because if we love him, he's all, because see, in history, 100 years from now, they're going to say, man, what was this time back then? Oh, this hip hop thing looked dope. Well, who was the leader of this? Who was the best? And his fucking face is going to pop up. Like, that just diminishes any black involvement. If a white man face pops up as the fucking greatest or the most sold rapper, people from 100 years from now are just gonna go for that. Like, yeah, that's who. Yeah, fucking right. The white race.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Well, that's what's gonna happen, and people let it happen. I wasn't just fighting over. Like, my mind isn't that shallow. I wasn't trying to out rap this guy. Like in my group, I wasn't even the best rapper. Admittedly, I had two niggas that were super nicer than me. I just was the face. I was the image. I still rapped. You know what I'm saying? I produced. But as far as bar, I never protested to be Jay-Z-esque, Nas-esque. I never did that. You know what I'm saying? I just brought up, because I seen the vision. I'm coming from Boston, a racist city. I seen the vision of how these white folks, because in my mind, it's the first time that white folks is buying into black culture ever the way they would with hip hop.
Yeah.
All right. So they just gonna get somebody, and once they give him hen, then they're not gonna buy into us no more. And that's what they did. They seen a bigger market and more money if they created this white rapper, because they knew people in North Dakota, white kids don't fuck with black people at all. They knew people in Nebraska don't even see black kids. They knew people in Wyoming. They knew people in, you know how many fucking states that some white people never, ever see a black person? They knew them right there, that they would be able to sell them if they could find a white guy who was bigger than black culture, and they'd be able to sell it. And it worked. And it worked.
Did you ever think it would go beyond, words or music for him?
What, beat? What, like street?
Yeah.
Duh.
Just gotta.
Come on, duh, but think of the question. What would even make you, has he ever done anything?
Well, his band was crazy.
Fuck, his fans of Powder Puff Girls.
You said cult
off the Powder Puff, the internet, right?
Yeah.
You should think about the internet, all right? Before the internet was made, the world still exists, right?
That's a fact.
People were outside. Not everybody was outside. A lot of people were scared to go outside in this world. When the internet came, that gave them people life. Them people now have life, and them people are the ones who are in the forefront because everything's computer. That's his people. His people don't know about violence and the shit we go through in these hoods. They don't know about that.
Okay.
A lot of his people are like in the Appalachian Mountains and in the woods, and they don't even really assimilate with us. But they just don't fuck with black people.
Gotcha. I'm with you. So now, in late 2024, Eminem announced that he too would be welcoming a grandchild by the way of his daughter Hurley. Right now, congratulations to Emma with that.
I congratulated.
Yeah,
Congratulate
that, and to him and his family. But yet another similarity and funny coincidence you both share. You both are, grandfathers now, and I know you extended an olive branch to M.
A couple of times.
And this feud has been over. It's been over for a while now. But looking back, would you have approached the situation differently?
No, I don't. Okay. One thing about me, man, I wouldn't be who I was now. And you fuck up the natural balance of life.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck happened had to happen.
Got you.
It sounds weird.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But if you tinker with something, like what's that movie with my man Michael J. Fox? What was that movie? Back to the Future.
Okay,
Yeah, you start tinkering with shit. Shit's gonna, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't do nothing over, man. I wouldn't do nothing over because I'm be honest, I learned a lot. I had millions of dollars. And last few years, is back to the streets and the struggle. But I've been a hustler all my life, so money never made me. See, I've made so much money in my life, but with me, is I've came up with everybody who don't have shit. So how can I be the only one that grew up with hundreds of people that don't have shit around me, you know what I'm saying, that they don't have? And I help as many people as I can. I give it all away.
No,
they said, well, how did you lose it? I didn't lose nothing. I spent it.
Okay.
You spend it, you give it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Of course I could have managed my money better. Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. No doubt. And I've learned the lessons I've learned now moving forward. I've learned some valuable lessons. I've fucked up a lot in my life, but I've also done a lot of great shit in my life. And that's what life is. Life don't life unless it's like that.
You're right.
You gotta be, and the fact that I survived it. So I can now, like, my comprehension level and understanding is at an all-time fucking high right now in a lot of areas. And I'm proud of that. Money don't make you happy. Money does not fulfill you, man.
Don't make you.
I know that first fucking hand.
Yeah.
I had money, the type of money that niggas didn't have the type of money I had back then. You know what I'm saying? So this was all pre-internet. You know what I'm saying? But I was doing some amazing crazy, ridiculous shit that I can look back now and it's just great memories and everything. I don't talk about it too much. I don't talk about the good or the bad because today's a new day and it has to keep me fresh about today and tomorrow.
No, I respect that. Now, Eminem, the Eminem beef was not the only thing in your catalog. You also had smoke, you know, in your late career with the great DMX, right? Now, there was an allegation with a member of your crew. You know, did you and X ever resolve the misunderstanding before his tragic passing?
So, man, this is crazy. Me and my girl talked about this last night.
Really?
Yo, yeah, man, we had it because I just put one of his, I was in the gym and I used X going, give it to you, dun, 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 dun. And for the first, I got emotional. Then I was telling her about the Aaliyah car, but here's how the story went. So,
You said the Aaliyah car?
the Aaliyah, I'll get to it. But, so the Made Men who was on tour with the Locks, Rough Riders, and Cash Money.
Okay.
And 50 even opened up a few dates. We ended up getting into a situation with the Locks, you know, beef, fight, physical altercation. Both sides took losses, you know, meaning, you know, stabs, you know what I'm saying, like bottles and chairs. I mean, it was, you know what I mean, you know, blood was spilt on both sides, right? It was over really a situation that had nothing to do with the Locks or nothing to do with us. While we was on tour, Def Jam has a promotions bus that goes a day before we get in, so that when you drive in, you see poster boards everywhere. This is, you know, back in the day, you'd see poster boards, Made Man, Cash Money, DMX, you know what I'm saying, when you're driving in the city for the venue. These was all big arenas and shit, right? So we had one of our guys on the promotion bus, Jermaine. Something happened with Jermaine and X's. Some chick was complaining about X, and Jermaine ended up bringing her on the bus. He smashing her. One of X's guys that was, I guess, on the Def Jam bus was like, yo, that's X's girl. They start fighting. They kicked Jermaine off. So Jermaine met us in Boston, and this was going to be the show. And I remember who was sitting in the stands after we performed. We had just killed it. This was a major show for us, Made Men. It was sold out, over 20-some thousand people. This was the first big, like, we never was able to perform because of the police and the gang task force and all this. This was huge for us. We finally felt like we made it. Our families was there, sold out show, man, we killed that shit. I brought Ray Ray on stage. He was 7. Coi wasn't even born yet. And man, so we had the beef with them niggas downstairs, but I just remember Queen Pen coming up crying like, yo, they want to speak to you. They're like, who's Jermaine? Where's Ray? X is saying, where's Ray? Like, you know, Queen Pen's crying. I'm like, yo, slow down. You all right? What's the matter? I don't know. Something's the matter. So I said, look, now I'm deep up there, like 50 deep, because we in Boston. I didn't want to bring everybody downstairs. I just brought a couple of niggas and I brought Jermaine with me. I said, come on, let's go figure this shit out, because I don't know what the fuck is going on, right? It's over abroad. So that took place like in Virginia or something. So we go down there, and you know, these are small hallways. I don't know if you've been like in an arena. When you go downstairs to the dressing rooms, the hallways are small, some of them. So this was a small one. The Fleet Center was a small one. It was loud as fuck because Cash Money was on. So I'm trying to like, yo, y'all know where X is at? Yo, we want to speak to X. Yo, you speak. So Jada and them come out, Styles P come out. Yo, Ray, what up, my nigga, what up? So I was like, bro, you know where X is? Next thing you know, the niggas that I said don't come, here they all come. They deep. And now Locks is deep as fuck. Because they 2 hours from New York. So all they guys drew down.
Yeah.
So we deep. A guy from, there was a water bottle in their crew of niggas, a water bottle. All hell breaks loose for like good little 6-7 minutes. We beefing. Then X never came out. Now X was in the dressing room when all this was happening. Swizz Beatz was in the dressing room. Steve Stout was in the dressing room. Niggas was like, oh my God, niggas didn't come out the dressing room. Them doors were shut, right? Because we was beefing right there. We beefing in the hallway. The doors are right here of the dressing rooms. So the niggas could have came out.
That's a fact.
At that point, everybody knew what the fuck was going on. Especially if niggas was beefing. It was like at least about fucking 20 to 30 niggas fighting in a small ass fucking area. Niggas, luckily no one would have got killed. Police came and maced up everybody. The niggas got the fuck out of there. So I ended up meeting with DY and Kiss in New York to squash it.
Okay.
You know, we all sat at the table and said, look, this wasn't even our beef. This had to do with X and some broad with Jermaine, Jermaine was just he wasn't like, he's not nobody to be starting trouble or nothing. He was just there promoting. So we squashed it with them. It was good.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, Kiss and them told the story on YouTube and shit.
Yeah.
And then one day I'm in LA with my crew. We about 10 deep. We in front of the W at the time. This is when the W first. And I remember Skip come through. I know as Skip now from Baltimore. This was X's man. Pulls up. This is broad daylight in sunny LA by Beverly Hills. Pulls up. It's like, yo, Benzino, come here. Let me holler at you. I was like, what's up? He gets out. It's like, yo, X is here and he want to holler at you. I was like, word? He was like, yeah, but he don't, you know, you can't bring none of your guys. So I was like, he's like, yo, and you know, you can't come strapped, you know? You know what I'm saying? I had a strap, so I remember I gave Hawk the strap. I was like, fucking come on. Told niggas that we cool, everything cool. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think it was gonna be like niggas was gonna fucking tie me up at it.
Yeah.
So we went to a spot. I get to the house, the mansion. X ain't there. I mean, he didn't come out. I see two little beautiful ass pit bull puppies. Beautiful, gorgeous. So I was like, yeah, this is X's crib, gotta be. So his Uncle Ray was there, Uncle Ray, and he's playing pool. I went over there, played some pool with Uncle Ray. I'm not sure if rest in peace Ice Pick was there. I think Ice Pick was there too. So X finally comes down. We play pool. He don't say nothing. He don't say nothing. He don't really ain't saying too much. Play pool. So like we playing pool. Want a drink? You drink? We drink. Say, come on, let's take a ride. I want to show you something. We go to the garage and he has the thing covered and he pulls it over the car and that's the Aaliyah car. You know, he had the hood painted with Aaliyah. It was old school. I was like, oh, that's just nice. He's like, come on, you want to take a ride? I was like, yeah, fucking ride. Let's go. Come on. So we get in and there's about 3 trucks behind us and shit. So he's flying down Wilshire. Like, I mean, flying. In my mind, I'm like, this nigga's trying to scare me, but he don't know. If I was there, I would have been like, I fly like that too. So I'm with that. You know what I'm saying? We get pulled over. Police come. They'd recognize as X. Let him go. Right? We go to Saloon, Sunset Saloon up on Sunset. It's this bar. Everybody, hey, X, this is movie X at the time. He's living in LA. X, hey, he knows the bartenders and everything. So we go in, we play more pool. There's a mechanical bull. He's like, yeah, you ride the bull? So we go in and there's a mechanical bull in there and he's like, do I want to ride the bull? I was like, nah, I'm cool. Come on, ride it, come on. So, you know, there's mad white people in there. They're like, come on, ride the bull. Because they're like, they all know him and shit. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, and he ride the fucking bull. Mind you, he ain't said nothing about no beef, nothing yet. It's at night at this point. I get on the bull, throws me the fuck over quick. This nigga takes off. He got the wife beater on. He gets on the bull. Excuse me, a steak and shake burger. From the airport. So he's riding the bull. They turn that bitch on high. He riding that motherfucker. I'm like, look at this shit. He riding it. They cheering, screaming. You know, didn't even throw him off. I'm like, all right, you got me. You know what I'm saying? You're the bull master. You know what I'm saying? So he said, come on, I'm going to come get you in the morning, right? That was it. Didn't say nothing. I was like, all right. Pulls up early to my hotel. Him driving. He said, come on, I'm going to take you somewhere. So we go to the first time I've ever been to Hobby Town. You know, have you ever seen a Hobby Town? It's like this big warehouse of all big hobby shit.
Yeah, I need somebody.
It's called, so we go in and he buys like these 3 big ass remote control gas. You got to put gas in them cars, big joints. We take them somewhere. We racing all day. We go get something to eat. Then somehow we end up at a studio. He still ain't said nothing about no beef. And I'm not going to bring it up because I'm like, well, I'm going to wait till he brings it up.
Yeah, the vibe is good.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm going to wait. You know, we got to bring it up. So we go in the studio. So Pete Killer is that's his producer. He does this trap. Dun, 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 dun. It's like a lean on me. So X starts rapping his verse. in the verse is what he's talking to me.
Wow.
Ray Benz, you a dog and I'm a dog. And then he's like, yo, we don't got no beef. And what, like he's talking about what happened, right? And I can't, this, the fucked up thing is I don't got the song, but look what happened. This is so crazy. So I'm like, damn, I'm listening to the song. And he's telling me in the verse, basically addressing the song, addressing the situation. So I did my verse. Now all of a sudden, here comes, who's at Westlake? Hey, KC from fucking,
KC and Judge?
Jodeci, KC.
You know, that's my family.
Which one is the slim one? That's KC?
Yeah.
He comes in out of nowhere, right? He's like, yo. He was lit too, though. He was.
Yeah.
So he was like, yo. This is the person I met him, shit. Him and X met before. He was like, yo, man. He was like, you know Scotty Scott's? Because now I'm part of the Scott family. Your last name's Scott. I said, I don't know Scotty Scott's. So he's heard the song. He's like, what? The nigga went in is like, so he's on the hook too. So there's a song out there with me and X with him doing
KC on it.
With KC and X on the hook called Lean On Me. The song's called Lean On Me. And unless Dave Mays got it, because I called Pete Killer. He's like, yo, I can't find the fucking track, bro. I called Westlake Studios, but there's a track out there with me, X, and KC called Lean On Me where he's addressing what happened. And I never seen him after that. Rest in peace to the great. And then I was telling my girl, I said, well, people don't realize I put X up there with Pop. I don't know, like X is up there with Pop.
Yeah.
Like there's no fucking question. When you think about X, because you know, the whole thing about a rapper is, all right, you know, is he a real nigga in the streets? Did he put a lot of work in the streets? You have niggas that can rap but really didn't put work, or you got real niggas who put in work but really can't rap. So when you get someone that got both that's why niggas love Pop, because Pop just did so much street shit. He got into so much, you know, the jail, he shot the 2 cops. X is the same fucking way. Like X is, and they're both, the music is like, I put them 2 at the top of the pile when it comes to the street nigga rap.
Respect.
Because of what they did while they was rappers, as far as being active and all the shit that happened to them, going to jail. And don't get me wrong, you don't have to go to jail to be a real nigga. So I'm not saying that. But to be at a high level of movies and rap like them 2 and still go through all that shit, you know, I know just from going through the shit I go through. I'm just not on their level of rap. But that's why I put them, I think he's right there with Pop. And I don't know if people give him that.
So, Benzino.
Yes, sir.
Moving on to 2000, Kim Ozario joined the team as the associate music editor. And in 2002, she became the first female editor-in-chief.
Placed by
the
Zista.
Exactly. So how was that dynamic?
Like, so prior to that position was a crazy position, man. The editor-in-chief at the Source, it was the earlier guys that took the position. It was always like, you gotta understand, the Source was like a big staff of people from everywhere, all walks of life, genders, you know. Now, the business side is over here where Dave's at, where George Moore was at, the guy at Waterwire, the accountant. That was the advertisement. That was the business side. People don't know Laz Alonso worked over there at the business side with Dave. Laz Alonso, he's an actor on a lot of these big movies and stuff now, but Laz was working on the business side with Dave for a minute. But a lot of guys was over there. Feds Magazine had an office up there. Shout out to Antoine.
Okay.
But then there was the journalistic side. That was the wild side, you know what I'm saying, where everybody's at, you know. So, you know, it was really 2 different worlds, you know what I'm saying? Kim was, to me, the guys that was running that, a lot of the guys prior to Kim would always kind of give Dave a hard time. I noticed. And it's like, you know, Dave's the one signing that ultimately, you know,
signing the check.
So it shouldn't be a power struggle. Because like I said, sometimes you could feel a certain way about an artist and you could feel strongly about them, but sometimes if it doesn't align with the business side of it, because you always got to understand the same artist that you are critiquing or saying anything about, good or bad, there's somebody who's spending money promoting their stuff through the magazine. And that's where it's a thin line and it's a slippery slope because, you know, like I said, you can't be, you know, a lot of if these guys are spending favorable money, they don't want to hear nothing bad about their artists. You know, I mean, have you ever seen a source? Master P used to take out, shout to Master P, so many ads, man. Like when you look, you know, at that point, ads were like 20, 25,000. You know, of course, we're going to work a deal with P because he's getting like 8 ads a fucking magazine. But, you know, he was like the first to really, you know, kill that shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Master P.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So that's that same year in 2002.
Well, yeah, but now Kim, the reason I said all that was because those guys would just always have a power struggle to where it was like, you know what, you know, my relationship with Kim was always good. And she just seemed more open to understanding the business side of the magazine, meaning, you know, it can't be all this integrity of the magazine because business plays a part. Where there's money, sometimes you have to sacrifice a little integrity. You know, Oprah puts herself, who's on the cover of Old magazine every month?
I don't even know.
Oprah. Every month she's on the cover. It's her magazine.
Yeah, I think.
You know what I'm saying?
She'll never put nobody else on the magazine.
Oprah. Every month that magazine come out, she'd be like, you know, same smile. So hair just blowing in the wind and shit. You know, Oprah.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, man. So I say that like Russell Simmons, Fat Farm, who's always wearing them damn sweaters, the diamonds checkerboard sweaters. Russ. You know, if it's your company, especially with hip hop, you can be the face of it. You can help promote it because you can step into that. And when it came to me, they didn't like that. Oh, he's a rapper, but his ads are in the magazine. Oh, he's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the editors used to be mad and, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, we couldn't have that.
Yeah.
You know, so we had to make sure that, you know, and I was the one that said, Kim, what's up? You ready? She was surprised.
So that's how she.
Because I chose her over a couple of guys, but I just felt that she, number one, she was qualified.
Okay.
I mean, she worked her ass off, you know what I'm saying? Number two, you know, she just had something about her that to me was more like I said, understanding about the money side. So if we'd have to come to her and explain to her about an artist or about a story or about something, then she, you know, there's not too much blowback. And, you know, that's what we want up there. We don't want to be going back and forth with anybody.
Any other dude would have probably been totally different from.
I mean, there was a bunch of them. You know, I don't even want to mention their names, but they was just way too out of order. Like, number one, it's not your magazine, number one. Number two, you know what I'm saying? You know, don't take it so personal. Understand this is a business. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, but there's always a flip side to everything. That is what really put the source high standards because those guys really took that shit to heart. I mean, you know, but when it's messing up relationships and that's what you don't, especially what you don't want to mess with me and Dave, it's our shit.
Yeah.
You want to be friends with us, you know what I'm saying? So I brought Kim in, man. She was the first woman to hold that position.
Okay.
As far as the magazine wise, like that, you know, that was all guys, all the other magazines, XXL and all the, you know.
That's what's up. I changed the game, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I would, you know, it was gonna happen eventually. You know, women started making their mark and, you know what I'm saying, especially with hip hop. As far as journalism goes, you know, but that's one thing I can give Dave credit is that, you know, everybody works at the source, all Latino, white, black, Asian, you know what I'm saying, Indian, you know what I mean? It you know, man, woman, you know what I'm saying?
Diverse.
Yeah.
So, but in 2002, that same year, the magazine boasted of its 2 highest issues to date. It was September with the Jay-Z feature and again in October with the Ja Rule feature.
Yeah.
Was this accurate or do you recall higher sales than those?
Those are the J one for sure.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? The J one for sure, because it was just a lot of times when it comes to covers, you got to understand it. It has to do with timing. Like as big as an artist, take Ludacris. As big as an artist, Ludacris is star artist, one of the worst covers we ever sold.
Okay.
Because as an artist, you know, I don't think there's that. As an artist, and because Ludacris always kind of, you never see Ludacris in any type of, you know what I'm saying? Ludacris is like the LeBron James of rap. Like he just doesn't get in trouble. There's no controversy. And for some reason, people take to kind of that within, because back then we was writing 8-page features. So those writings, them journalists was writing major, stories about these guys. I mean, there was some great stories, and you could sit there and kind of read and just get lost in it, because that's what's missing now. The internet is connecting people too personal with the artist, and you're losing the mystique of everything. I think the internet's making the audience, putting them way too much in the game than they shouldn't be. I think an audience should be an audience that when you listen to somebody's music, you just get lost in it. And it makes you think. It makes you use your own mind, to where now, it's not like that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, people know about the artist, and then they don't even like the artist no more because of who they are and what they're seeing as a person. It never was supposed to be exposed. The way the music worked, the balance of how music and artistry and fans and artists and talent works, there has to be the fan base and there has to be the artist. You know what I'm saying? And you wasn't supposed to know everything about the artist. But artists get on, the internet, that's what people thought. People kind of thought that, we know what, this is going to help us more, let them know more. And I think actually it's hurting.
Yeah.
I do.
I think so too, in some aspects.
I believe all of it ultimately, because again, the audience is having too much say so. The comments are now the interesting part of what they're commenting on. The funny parts of the comments, they should never come into play in listening to music. When I listen to music, it made me use my own mind and my own imagination. It was awake dreams. I was awake dreaming. You know what I'm saying? And I could submerge myself in somebody I don't know. I can make up my own thing of him or how I like him or not, because we wasn't in his everyday life. And see, going into niggas' life, you know what I'm saying, a black person's life is going to be a lot more complicated than a white person. So now you're going to find all kind of shit not to like this person because of maybe he had a baby's mother, or he had a child out of wedlock. There's always some type of dysfunction in the personal, when you didn't even have to know that if you just listen to the music.
That's right.
And I just think, like, it's going to ultimately tear music down. It's going to, you know what I'm saying? I think something has to switch. There has to be a shift back to talent, and the fans have to be the fans. And what they say shouldn't even
matter.
Shouldn't even see it.
Okay.
It should, like, opinions should just be, you know what I'm saying? I don't think God made it for these many opinions to affect somebody. I don't think God made it to where I'm in front of you and I'm talking to you. All right, that's that's real. He didn't make it so where everybody has to be connected, millions and millions of people. It's too much energy. It's too much energy. And that's why a lot of these, when you look at the internet and every day you see somebody's mugshot for some crazy crime. Now, back in the day when I grew up, yeah, there's killings, but as far as the crazy shit, like mother kills son and takes the baby and drops him off at Walmart shit, that shit didn't happen. Like, once, very so often.
Mm-hmm.
This is going on every day. And people, you have to know that it's all coming from the energies and the waves from social media.
Yeah, no.
People don't have the capacity to even deal with it, and nobody's saying anything. There's no studies. Everyone's just freestyling it and going along, and you can notice that our culture is getting worse and worse. The murders, the crazy events, like the culture done went from where it was with Martin and Malcolm. Oh, we done came all the way down from that. From what our energies are being focused on now, and how the internet social media is tearing us apart, and these young kids out here with the music, just making music to kill each other. Yeah, we've come down society with this. So it's good that if we're going to talk about it, that that message can get across too, because I'm one of the happy ones that TikTok is gone.
Yeah, me too.
I'm one of
I'm not one of those dancing 15-second clips.
It's just too much.
Yeah.
It's just you know what I mean? I never had one, but it's too much. We have to figure out a way to get people back really social, because that's what, especially us.
Yeah, no.
Our community, our culture. That's why we're so creative, because we're that. We you know what I'm saying? We want to love each other. But it's like now there's this wall of, digital noise that it would just,
Yeah, and your phone all day.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So let me ask you another question. In 2003 to 2004, the majority of the original editorial staff, they walked out, and complaints and allegations.
So that was 94.
It was 94.
94.
Okay, and a lot of allegations that came from Kim Osario.
Oh, no.
That's what
No, oh, okay,
got.
that right there. Okay, Kim had sued for
Misconduct.
for sexual harassment.
Yeah.
All right. So Kim, boom.
Mhm.
Now this was crazy, right? So Kim's editorial, everything's going good.
How truthful were those?
Oh, I'm about to tell you the story. Dave and Kim started having little problems. You know what I'm saying? Once again, you know what I'm saying? The editorial and Dave, you know what I'm saying? But I'm the guy in the middle that can, smooth it out. This was around the time where we was getting so much money and I was just wilding too, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I remember I booked a trip to Dominican Republic. It took like 40 models over there, paid for I took a lot of the source staff.
Okay.
But Kim had to stay back. And she was pissed about that. Kim thought that Dave was going to fire her.
Okay.
Dave wanted to fire Kim about something. And at this point, it had been going on so long that I couldn't change his mind at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And Kim caught wind to it. So Kim just made her move before Dave did. See, Kim comes from college. She comes from, she studied law. So Kim already knew, you know what I'm saying? So she sued for a bunch of stuff. So we had to go down to court, right? The crazy shit about this is what she's suing for with the sexual harassment, she's saying like the office is real, when you walk into guys' offices, because, we had eye candy of the week and stuff like that, like in the source. You would have girls' pictures on the wall.
Yeah.
The photographs of the art director would have sometimes a naked girl. Like, are you fucking crazy? Now, listen, Kim's my sister still to this day. That's but we're talking back then. I'm like, but it was a strategy. She didn't win on sexual harassment. She won on defamation. And the only reason she won is because I had went on and did an all hip hop interview and said that Kim was trying to blackmail us.
Yeah.
If I didn't say that, she wouldn't have got nothing.
Gotcha.
But I mean, it's chess. You know what I'm saying? She made her move or whatever. I didn't hold nothing. I'm down at the federal court, the same federal court that Donald Trump and all the big cases are down there right in Manhattan. And the judge is a white, late woman judge. And so, did you have sex with so-and-so, with this rapper? And I had to answer my right hand of God. And then it started like, did you have sex with Kim Osorio's assistant? And I had to admit, my whole sex life was I'm talking, they was getting like deep into it.
Woo.
Like it was if anybody can ever get those transcripts, right? Those transcripts for that is bananas, because I'm sitting there and I got to answer it, everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, did you sleep with this? Because the whole thing was they think I'm sleeping with women to give them covers. This shit was crazy.
Like Sola. Like it goes.
Say Sola, right? That shit was nuts, bro. It was, and now I'm thinking about it. I'm in this is an older Jewish woman. She's looking at me like, at one point she just started laughing and shit. There's a jury and everything. And we talking about, I said, well, I would leave the office and I would order Chinese food and she'd come over and something about giving me head with braces on.
Yeah.
Because she was an assistant up there. She had braces. I'm not going to say no names, but you know what I'm saying? It wasn't uncomfortable for me, because those situations I'm not uncomfortable. Like sex,
Yeah.
Sex, I'm not uncomfortable with that. You know what I'm saying? We all adults at this point, you know what I mean? I just, you know what I'm saying? It just got raunchy on stand with my sex life, on stand, and that shit was crazy with a woman judge. But yeah, that shit happened. But shout out to Kim. Me and Kim are still cool. Shit happens, you know what I'm saying? But I tend to like move forward in life, especially if there's any way we can get back together.
Speaking of, how did you bounce back from having the majority of the original editorial staff like leave and walk out?
Because they got to understand, they was just like, you see in Detroit, you see like the lines that make the cars. They can be replaced, but the people that's running it are the ones, you know what I'm saying, running the company. You know what I'm saying? You know, and though and see, me and Dave, the thing was when they did end up replacing me and Dave, the magazine said, I mean, a quick dive.
Does he own it now?
No.
No?
It's owned by Londell McMillan. He's a lawyer.
Okay.
Before that, it was Black Enterprise. But the point I'm trying to make that everybody said Dave Ray. As soon as the day we was gone, the day somebody else got it, that magazine said.
Okay.
That's a fact. Like I said, me and Dave had an unorthodox, once I was the partner and we started getting going and I was really daily duties and really getting into the magazine, we had an unorthodox relationship that did amazing things. That only me and Dave could understand it. Like the ideas that come out my head, I'd have to get high and he'd sit there and Dave would be late nights, just me and D over because he had a spot at Union Square across the street from the office.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And then I'd be on the phone with him. You know what I'm saying? He would be able to take my ideas
and formulate them.
I mean, he was a monster. Notes everywhere. You go in the crib, notes all over the fucking place, them little sticky note things.
Yeah.
He was a monster at that. But I was out in the field. And you had to be. And especially when we was making all the millions, because there's wolves out there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I maintained that well.
Nah, that's what's up.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So our relationship was amazing. And the Source years were even more. There's some ups and downs, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, we're going to tell the story. I'm sure he'll tell his story and I'll tell my story eventually. You know what I'm saying?
So after this case was litigated, the Source magazine filed for bankruptcy. You know, they filed for bankruptcy protection, right?
Well, that was the new guys, not us.
Okay.
The ones who took the magazine, they filed for bankruptcy.
Did you think like them getting you out was like a part of the plan? Like Kim was
Yeah. No, Kim had nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying?
Londell.
Yeah. But Londell came later. Black Enterprise was the first one that wanted to take it from us.
Okay.
They had owned Black Enterprise magazine. Earl Graves was a huge black publisher that owned major me and Dave was going to sell it to Bob Johnson. We went and met him in D.C.
Okay.
And Bob said, listen, we met him. He had just sold BET for like $3 billion. And he said, look, I'm going to write down what I'm going to write it down and I'm going to leave and I'm going to come back. I don't want to even talk about it. And he wrote down $55 million. And me and Dave looked at each other and we owed the bank 30 and we started doing minus and pluses. The thing with us was Bob wanted us to walk away. He didn't want us to stay on.
Okay.
So we valued it at $75 million. We asked him for 75. It was 80, and we came down another $5 million. But ultimately, it was our decision to walk away from that $55 million. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And that decision right there was we want to go public. We felt we were so close to just going public on the stock market. And if we had a couple more years with all this other stuff that we was doing, the Source Awards, because the Source Awards we had to build. The Source Awards, we was losing money at first. So that was our money we put in it. It never made a profit until we finally got with BET. Then BET ended up doing their awards. They took our blueprint and did their award show.
That's some sucker shit.
It's business, man.
Yeah.
And you know what? We have to understand that. This is business and it happens. You know what I'm saying? We got to be more business-like, understanding and how we look at it, less emotional and look at it more business.
That's true. That's true.
You know,
that's a good thing to say to the youth too.
Yeah, you got to.
So
now 10, 15 years ago, Benzino would have been a different story.
A little bit more emotional.
And it was different. I was emotional. Of course, Dave was emotional.
Yeah.
But you know, shit happens, man. You know, shit happens.
Was there any truth to Dave putting out publications without your knowledge?
No. No. Me and Dave did Hip Hop Weekly together. Okay. We did everything together. Me and Dave, since probably 1988, have spoken every day, multiple times, probably every single day in that span. Like, I mean, Dave knew me when I had no kids. Dave actually was supposed to be Coi's godfather. Like, Dave been there. We've been through when I've been shot, when other niggas got shot. Like, they've been around some crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? For a white boy, you feel me?
No, that's like, dope though. Yeah. Dave is that dude, it seems like.
Good dude, man.
So, as you know, podcasts are the new audio recordings today.
Yeah.
a variant of like terrestrial radio shows with informal structures, all-out content, and non-traditional formatting. How do you feel about this new wave of radio and the podcast industry? Do you think it's here to stay?
Oh, it's definitely here to stay. There's definitely been a shift. People want to hear people talk. You know what I'm saying? They want to hear people talk more than music now.
Yeah.
I don't think I think it has its negatives and positives.
Mhm.
We live in a time where there's so many different demographics within the culture.
Okay.
And it just, if, there's low hanging fruit out there,
That's true.
you know what I'm saying, that surely isn't pushing the culture forward. I wouldn't say it's holding it back either. My thing is, hey, if that's what you guys want to put your time in, that foolishness and bullshit, then what's going to happen is all that time that you're wasting, when you get older,
Yeah, you don't get it
you're
back.
going to be lost.
That's true.
Not only going to get it back, but you haven't done anything to get you in position because you've been bullshitting with this all the time, with this, because this doesn't feed your brain. There's a lot of garbage out there
There is.
within podcasts and content, and that just is, you know what I mean? It's just, so I'm all for thought-provoking entertainment, good, you know what I'm saying? I don't mind ratchet, of course, but, like, there's a limit of that. You know what I'm saying?
Does Benzino have any like favorite podcasts that he subscribed to? Jink Champs, $1 Million Worth of Game, Don't
Do I have
White
do I
Girl.
have a favorite?
Yeah.
Everybody's different, man. I know all those guys. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Shout out to all of them too.
I've seen their climb. Yeah, shout out to all of them. I've seen their climb. My thing is this, right? Money has a way of changing people. And, I'm telling you, in order to stay successful and to stay loved by the people, you got to stay humble
That's a fact.
and you got to share the wealth. Because if you don't, eventually everything, you do your podcast and you're flashing your jewelry all the time, you're buying a new car, you're making it about you. And eventually that's going to wear itself out. I like the podcast that about the people.
Yeah.
That the people can be, you know what I'm saying, like,
Okay.
I like those type of podcasts, not so much about.
You watch Gillian Wallow?
I mean, I don't, you know what I'm saying? I've seen some of their interviews and, you know what I mean? No disrespect because those guys came a long way, you know what I'm saying? I mean, but, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Nori, see, they all have different format, Gillian Wallow's format seems pretty broad on who they bring on and what they talk about. With Nori, I know at the beginning it was just about, like, kind of like you had to have paid dues.
Like a legendary legend.
You know what I'm saying? There's, Cam and Mace talking about sports, you know what I'm saying? And, they kind of broaden theirs too,
Yeah. That's what's up.
So, you know what I mean? Like, my thing is, look, I definitely, want to get in the podcast game, you know what I'm saying? But I just want to go about it different, you know what I'm saying? Just everybody had their own niche, you know what I'm saying?
That's true. Now, recently also, in the news, Fat Joe, he has some opinions on the FBA, the Foundational Black Authority.
This is the first time I even heard it. Like, when did people start saying the FBA? What is that?
It's new. Like Tariq Nasheed, I forgot the other guy's name.
But when does that? What's it based on? What's the, like? Is this like Black Lives Matter?
No, no. It's like they're just into Black people, African Americans, Black that are born here, not Jamaican, Haitian, Caribbean. I believe that's what the organization.
But why are they splitting?
I don't know.
What are we splitting us up again for? Why are we?
I get what you're saying. Some people say it's needed. Some people say it's not.
Listen, you know what's needed? Niggas need to motherfucking start coming together, like, sincerely, start growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what's needed? Niggas need to start growing up.
That's a fact, though.
And start acting a little more responsible and mature. That's what's needed. Like, foundational. I don't even like the way that sounds. I'm gonna be honest with you. Now that you told me, I definitely ain't into that. So, go ahead.
No. I was gonna say, well, you don't agree with the sentiment
because without Jamaican people, do you understand?
We wouldn't be.
Do you understand what Jamaican people have given to our culture of music and different? Like, come on, like what type of Go ahead, man.
No, that's
silly as hell, man.
You're right. Now let's get to the next topic.
Who made that up?
I believe Tariq Nasheed.
Yeah, that ain't it, man. That's not it. That ain't it. And Fat Joe said something about it.
Yeah, he got on him. Actually, today he actually resigned. He stepped down from his position at BET because of this. It got so much stuff that he had to step down. It seems like.
I'm saying, look, people would understand this about.
He was calling him broke and stuff like that too.
Look, Joe has to stop doing that.
Yeah.
Joe got to stop doing that. But in Joe's defense,
yeah,
Joe seen hip hop growing up in the Bronx. The Bronx is where hip hop started. And everybody was in the Bronx. Black, Jamaican, Puerto Rican. This was, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. This was the birth of hip hop, bro. Like, so Joe's not looking at it like that. He's seeing it as he understands, but the foundation, I don't agree with the foundational black. That is bullshit, because without Jamaicans, things would be different. Like, you can't just exclude Jamaicans out of our shit.
Out of our whole, we all black.
What type of dumb shit is that?
I understand what you're saying. Now, on the topic of podcasts,
but Joe should be saying nothing about broke niggas.
No, he shouldn't be saying nothing about.
He should be saying nothing about broke niggas, because we, you know, believe me, there's somebody in your family that's broke, Joe.
Yeah.
There's niggas, the majority of all of us are broke. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, the majority of black people are broke, and Puerto Rican people are broke. If you want to define broke as just paying bills and getting by, or, you know, can't buy shit, like, broke can be defined a lot of different ways. So he has to be careful saying that.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying about when you want to be, you know, you got to be careful who
people were trying to pinpoint him to be a racist too. They were trying to say he a racist.
Joe's not. I mean, Joe's been around black. Again, he grew up in the Bronx. Yeah. Now, there's nothing the matter him loving Puerto Rico.
Some of his old friends
and being Puerto Rican.
Talking about it though. Like,
there's nothing the matter with him loving being Puerto Rican. There's nothing the matter with that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, but as far he's been around black people his entire life. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So that doesn't, you know, I mean, listen, man. Like I said, you know, people are gonna pick and choose. You know, but, you know, I understand where he's coming from, but he has to, you know, broke, that word, listen, I've had money, I've haven't had money. It ain't changed me.
He do got to be careful with his words, though. He do got to.
Listen, broke can't unlame a lame.
Yeah.
And broke can't prevent your wife from getting in a pretzel 4 position. All right?
Yeah.
Real talk.
That's real talk.
You know what I'm saying? So, having money, rather. You know what I'm saying? Being rich, rather. You know what I'm saying? Rich can't, you know what I mean? Like, it don't matter, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just don't, like, you know what I mean? Like, shit, it would be great if everybody that's in the struggle can have something, you know, but, you know, so he has to be careful with that.
Yeah. No.
But as far as the foundation, I'm not with that shit, and anybody out there is with that is a bozo, as far as I'm concerned. There is no foundational black America, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we all in this together, all of us, and we all contribute. So we don't, they're already trying to divide us and conquer us, and why are we trying to divide ourselves?
Yeah.
I'm glad you told me that. I didn't know what the fuck that was.
Yeah, stuff is deep. I mean, it's new, so I mean, I don't really try to get too much into it.
That shit out of here.
Now, on the topic of podcasts and Joe, you recently had some commentary on Joe Budden, and the host of the Joe Budden podcast. You know, talk to me about Joe Budden. Do you have beef with him?
There's no beef. Joe Budden talks about everybody, and so if he's running around butt naked pressing on people's doorbells, and of course someone's gonna say something about him.
Yeah.
Are we not?
I mean, people, they have
don't give a fuck about people, you know what I'm saying?
He actually just recently, he beat that case. I mean, like, he went to court for it recently. He said on his podcast.
That's the new one.
This is the new one. He beat that case. So
no. He didn't beat that. You don't beat. How do you
play?
You don't beat it. It went away. What do you do? He paid somebody. You don't beat that. You know, you don't get, there's police reports and then all of a sudden it goes away.
I believe that the lady, she said that he was trying to.
Joe gave us some bread. That's easy to know that. Like, come on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, no, I don't want him to get locked up for it. But what I'm saying as far as and even if it is go away, that don't mean we can't making fun of him and be, motherfuckers making fun of me. What the fuck is the matter with people, man?
I know what you mean.
And like, he's so fucking untouchable, man. Listen, man, he need to stop ringing people's doorbells butt naked. How about that?
He said he gonna go to sleep with, he just brought you up yesterday. He brought you up on his podcast yesterday.
Yeah, of course he did. Yeah, you know, it's nothing. Keep bringing me up. Keep bringing me up. You know what I'm saying?
So on his podcast, he has a fellow speaker, QueenzFlip, who recently stated that it would be a conflict of interest to even, you know, speak with you and former video model Melissa Ford. Do you have any past dealings with them, and how do you feel about them being, part of that?
Well, me and Melissa Ford definitely had past dealings. I mean, she was in my video with the lock. She was the video girl, and then me and her, me and her dated. You know what I'm saying?
You dated her?
Yeah.
For how long? Okay. That was like your lady.
Couple little soirees. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Flew in from Canada.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Tell me about that relationship.
It wasn't a relationship. It was just like you know what I'm saying? What's the word for those now? Like what's the word for those now?
She was like your joint. She was like
no, not
side chick or something.
No, not at all. It just like when you just
casually.
Just
Okay. That's what's up. That's what's up. You lived a great life, man.
I'm still living a great life. Look, I'm healthy, I'm free, and I'm alive.
Yeah.
And I can work everything else out. And as far as Flip goes, it's disappointing that Flip would say that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's no conflict. And if it is a conflict, if Joe's making a conflict, then to me, that just goes by Joe again. It's not even that serious, man.
No, Flip has like loyalty to Joe because Joe put him in a good spot.
Joe, man, come on.
So he has this
Flip could be Joe. See, listen, whatever. All right, Flip.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Power to Joe, Flip. But Flip could be Joe. You know what I'm saying? So I don't, you know what I mean?
No, Flip is a great
Flip's dope.
He does.
You know what I'm saying? And that's my guy. I don't think it should be a conflict of our friendship because of Joe Buttons. That's whack. He said that?
Yeah, I was in Spaces. Yeah, what did he say? Like 2 weeks ago, we was on Spaces, and Miss Jones and him, they brought you up.
Jones is my girl.
Yeah, and they was like, he's like, I'm not gonna interview Benzino because it may go to somewhere else.
See, he said that?
Well, that's because I think.
Flip. Not you, Flip. Why? See, man, damn, bro, like, if we're bros, you can't let nobody unbro us. Damn, Flip, I didn't even know. So,
no, do
you know that me and Flip got millions and millions of views.
He does say you his man, though. He does say you.
Yeah, that's my fucking
but he
friend.
Says Joe his man too. But he don't wanna conflict the two. You know what I mean?
Oh shit, yo, what the fuck? Joe's his man too. Since when? Since he put him up on the fucking chair in the middle, and he's like the guy from oh man, like the Jimmy Kimmel guy. You know what I'm saying? We got the other, like, no, Flip's dope. Flip don't need to be sitting in the middle of all that. Flip can have his own shit. You know what I'm saying? Stop that, Flip. Come on with that. You know what I'm saying? Do you know how many fucking times me and Flip got one skit in front of the halfway house in the Bronx that did like 11 million views. Might be one of his biggest skits. And he said that. He said, "You can't interview me no more." Oh, I'm hurt. I'm hurt. Damn, I'm hurt. That's crazy, yo. Wow, man. You know that music that be on Instagram that everybody's using? It's kind of like a weird, kind of cool music. Just use that for this part because I'm hurt, man. I'm fucked up. Flip would say that. I didn't know he said that.
But no, like, he always says that you're his man, though. He does reiterate.
No. But Joe's my man.
Yeah, but Joe's his man, though.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm not Joe Button. Just full of ball. Passing my caviar in my. Melissa, are you okay? Come on, man. Listen, man. Joe, I'm happy for Joe. I don't got no problems with Joe. Joe say sucker shit. I say sucker shit. It ain't even that deep. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to have a talk with Flip's ass. You know what I'm saying? Because when something happens and then Flip's on the outside looking in with Joe, then it's like, all right, you know what I mean? Yeah, like how long you going to be over there with Joe? There's too many motherfuckers over there with Joe. Come on, Flip. You Queen's fucking Flip.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a fact.
Joe knew to bring him in because Joe wasn't all that, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, Flip like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Flip must be getting check over there, boy, huh?
I think so.
Damn.
I can say getting good money over there.
If he just sell his friendships away, he must be getting a check. Damn. He sold me the fuck out.
That's funny. So Elliot Wilson recently did an interview with the New Warrior Mall
That's my
podcast,
son.
right? Now, shout out to them and Damaris, where Elliot took shots at Cam and Mace. And
Elliot took shots at Cam and Mace.
Yeah. At
He's
Charlemagne
not built
and a
like
few
that,
others.
bro.
He took a shot at a few people. And this
That's
is nothing
that's
new.
my son, right? I
Who?
raised him.
Elliot?
He's like a bad kid. Like he's like a kid that went rogue.
Mm,
Elliot worked at the source for like 4 or 5 years.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, no, I do know that, and I want to say so. This is nothing new. As Elliot, you know, he was the point editor, right, in chief over there.
Never.
No.
Only
what was
at
his role?
XXL. He was like Kim's assistant or something.
Okay.
He might have been the coffee boy or the nigga that gets the stuff off the printer or something. I don't know.
So give me a take on Elliot. Like, give me a take on him.
Bozo the Clizzy.
Okay.
You know Bozo the Clizzy?
Bozo the Clown.
Bozo the Clizzy. Like, you go over to XXL, which I can't, if it's a business move, I can't, you know, because a lot of people do business moves.
Yeah.
But then when the Eminem thing, you actually get involved with all that with them to go against us.
Oh.
See,
Okay.
knowing he knows who I am. Now, see, you know, so now, so before it's like, yeah, they come up, man, him and his guys, and they take t-shirts off the desk and they be bullying. So, all right. So now when you're doing this, I remember Elliot XXL, right? Because people don't know. Source was independently owned. XXL was like...
It was beefing, right? The Source.
XXL was like a carbon copy of the Source, but it was white guys that owned that old Field and Stream, Golf Magazine, fishing, hunting. So it wasn't even a fucking hip hop, like people. You understand what I'm saying? They just wanted to make money off it. They knew nothing about the culture. So they go snatch your Elliots. Yeah. Hey, here come and get Bozo the Clizzy. You know, he's, you know, behind, you know what I'm saying? He's a spy. So he goes over there. So when the Eminem thing was going on, he put some funny looking picture of me and my son Ray Ray. Ooh. Man, we walked across the street, about 7, 8 of us. I'm furious. Go over there. Where's Bozo the Clizzy? This nigga comes out, man. I grabs him up, man. If you ever in your life, he had the whole staff. His whole staff came out, and I got all my guys. We in the middle, and I'm like jabbing my finger into his forehead, trying to see if I could just put a dent in it. If you ever, and then that was it after that. You know what I'm saying? You know, and it's like, damn, like all up until then, I never mentioned Elliot. He was at XXL. I never said nothing bad about him. I understood. Yeah. It's a business move. You're about to be editor-in-chief of a new magazine that's copying us. Yeah. I get it. But I never disrespected him. Once he got with Eminem, 50 and all them and did that, then it was like, hold up. It was funny because the office was like across we on 24th and 26th and Park, and they kind of like 3 blocks over. We went right over there and damn near pointed a dent. You see if there's a dent in his forehead, and if it is, that's from me.
So you guys don't got no smoke no more.
My thing is this, it's not even smoke. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'd be bullying. I'm not into that. Like, my thing is, Elliot and guys like Elliot were sheltered all their life. I just got a problem with sheltered niggas who swear they know so much about hip hop and how, you know what I mean? Like, he's one of these niggas that a lot of these niggas who sit interview people swear like there's some not, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of these dudes weren't around. They weren't there. They wasn't, in order to really know hip hop, you had to be there. You had to experience it. Him and a lot of them wasn't. And I just always had a problem with guys like that. Always. It just was me.
Okay. Well, now circling back to you, when you think and speak of legacy, we refer to inheritances, right? And we pass down to our newest generations. Having a rapper, mother, pop father, and rapper grandfather, is it without a doubt that your grandchild will inherit a musical gene? However, aside from the musical component, what do you look forward to share with your grandchild?
Man, everything. I like outdoor sports.
Okay.
Football, baseball, basketball. We're gonna be outside a lot. You know what I'm saying? I think that's one of the most important things you could do with the young, is just get out there and just keep them running around, you know, because that sticks later on. And just being active with them, man, and kind of like what I always did with my kids, no matter what age they were, I would find this way to kind of like bring myself to their level of communication and understanding. If they're silly, then I'd be silly. If we were shopping for a certain toy, then I would kind of get into that excitement of their age for the toy with them. Just to kind of like, you know what I'm saying? I do that with Zeno. Like Zeno's 9 and we kick it and I kind of get on his level so he can like, you know, it's kind of hard to explain, but it's so pure and good and positive, man. It like fatherhood, the beautiful thing about it, man, it changes you, man. It takes you from being a savage that you've been used to growing up and seeing all kind of shit and going through shit in the streets, and then just able to like see somebody that has unconditional love for you, man. And when they're young like that, it's amazing. It's life-changing. They get older, then you kind of, they're just being older. And that's how I was, and that's just how it's going to be. And that's the natural order of things. They get away from the nest, and that little girl, that little boy that was with you all the time gets a little more distant.
That's fact.
You know what I'm saying? So it's the natural order of thing. It's all God-given and God-made.
Yeah, no, you're right. So will you share some of your stories about your stomping grounds in Boston with them?
I'm gonna, like, of course, like all that. I mean, and just just the morals and values of my era, because they're different from Coi's era. You know what I'm saying? They're different from Trippie Redd's era. You know what I mean? So it's good that he has the morals and values of their era and my era.
That's true. It's a blessing, man.
It's a blessing.
Yeah. Would you record and share your historical hip hop moments via the Source podcast, or is there something we should expect or dare to imagine?
Podcast. I'm getting ready to start my podcast. Really.
Okay.
100%, man. Like, I had to like just get my life stable before I could do any I've been doing a lot of Tubi movies like crazy.
Really?
Yeah, I actually got on the 20th. I'm gonna be up in Detroit for 2 weeks.
They pay good?
I mean, this one is, shout out to Dennis Reed and Sonya Miller, man. It's a series, it's a 6-part series, like some Law and Order shit, man. I'm so grateful. It's my first series. I'm in every episode. And man, I'm just, I'm pretty good at this acting thing, man. I take it serious. So, just stable in my life, because without the podcast, I really want to go hard with it. I really want to put in work. I want to do it right. So
I think you should.
I would love to get back into reality TV. I love shooting that. I that's just fun for me. I've shot so much of it. I just love it. And yeah, I mean, shit, restaurant, open up Benzino's Crab Trap again. I've had a few of those.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm a hell of a chef. I cook my ass off. So
that's what's up.
I opened up like 3 of them. I had one in the South DeKalb Mall, had one in Marietta. So I want to open that again, man, and just stay busy, man. And of course, stay in the gym. I'll be 60 in July, so when I drop one of them tapes, a calendar, you know what I'm saying, a calendar, a tape, like a video, and yeah, man, just keep focusing on the bag, man. Focusing on the bag.
What's up with you and Charleston White? Y'all good?
I don't know Charleston White. I think Charleston White's a con man and a fraud in a lot of shit. He can't fool me with all that bullshit. Yeah. And the disappointing thing is to see so many people on the internet who are lost, who actually follow the shit he says. Some of the shit he says is like, the sky is blue. Oh my God, did you hear Charleston White said this? It's just so obvious. But I understand there's people on the internet that have a limited amount of comprehension, and that's who he is representing. Yeah. Because the shit he does is antagonize and starts trouble, then goes to the police when people approach him. Yeah. Like, we don't do that. And then talk disrespectful to women, to the dead, to the dead's mother. Ooh, I mean, I can just go on. And then even when he's trying to talk smart, he's talking like some of the shit he says is not even true. I think I seen one time he said that Russia banned hip hop, and Russia ain't even banned hip hop. They have a control on what goes out there, whatever, a sort of censorship, but they didn't ban it. It's just little shit like that that he has people believing. Like, you wasn't nowhere around none of this industry shit, Jay-Z, to be speaking on Jay-Z, this, that, the third. And then when people ask him his opinions, why would they ask the opinions of him? He wasn't around nothing and nobody. He was stuck in the woods somewhere. I mean, that's just a fact, man. This man crawled out of to get on the internet to be disrespectful to people, and then just because there's an audience for that who's cheering him on, but they don't know any fucking better. That's the low-hanging fruit. They don't know any better. Their comprehension is limited, so you can't even be mad at them. He represents that. I don't agree with that because he's leading people wrong. No, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he's full of shit. He's a con man. He get a little bit of money now. You disrespecting all these guys, but these are the guys you wanted to be, obviously. And now in your old ass age, now you got change. Now you got your money. Now you got some gear. Now you could be that. You just couldn't rap. So now you get on, and I'm not saying he's dumb. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that at all because he has some intelligence with him, but that shit gets overlooked with all the bullshit he says and does. He can't fool me. And I'm not here for the back and forth that was whoop-de-woo, him saying, I don't give a fuck about, yeah. None of that excites me. You know what I'm saying? He ain't no threat to me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, you know, he's his message doesn't coincide with who he's trying to fake like he is this great community leadership when really he's doing more damage to the Black culture and the things he does and says on the internet.
So thank you, Benzino, for coming through, man. I appreciate your time, man.
And man,
really gave it up, man.
Hell of an interview, man. And we got it done, man. Man, you said it too. You said when I was in Atlanta, we was going through the craziness of the snowstorm. You said, Benzino, my God's not gonna fail me.
Yeah,
you said it.
That's what I said.
And I was like, nah, man, I'm telling you that snow, Dub, I'm telling you, I know when I fly. I was giving Dub a hard. I was like, man, we ain't gonna be, I'm telling you, the Uber's gonna come and get me. We're gonna be sliding all over the place. It ain't gonna happen.
You called me 4:45 in the morning, like, yo, the car ain't outside.
I was ready. I was ready.
I appreciate that too, man.
Come on, man. We here, man. No, this is dope, man. We're gonna keep this going too.
So listen, let me give you this too. Oh, this is the potion I wanted to give you so you can. Oh, what's this?
What's this?
It's a sexual enhancement. It was also good for you.
Oh man, so
yeah, man.
So you gotta drink the whole thing?
No, you drink a shot. Pour it in a shot glass. Take a shot at a time.
One shot at a time?
Yeah, one shot at a time.
So this is liquid Cialis.
And it's all natural.
All natural.
All natural.
What's it called?
It's called the potion.
The potion.
You know what I mean? So get
caught up. He drinks. I'm gonna take him some right now. Yeah,
it's a little bitter.
Like, you know what I mean? Lane, you know what I mean? Put wifey in the pretzel 6, you know what I'm saying?
Too. Shout out to OnlyFans.
Yeah, man. King Zeno, my OnlyFans. King Zeno, I've had it since 2020. It's just, you know, I work out, so you know what I mean? I don't mind, you know what I'm saying? OnlyFans is cool.
Nah, that's try, man.
Here we go. Has the quiet taste. Shut up. What the fuck is up? You better make my shit rockin'. This shit is.
So how you rocking?
What's?
So it got like bitter cola in there. It got a bunch of natural herbs. So man, this is.
I feel something going on inside already, man. Fuck, this is all right here. All right, bet.
That is it, man. But yeah, I appreciate you coming through, man.
Appreciate you having me, bro. Anytime.
You know, thank you, sir. And we'll be back with the files.